What's going on, guys? JPP Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday. And for today's game, I'm bringing you an extremely spicy prankkids versus swordsoul matchup. Now, do keep in mind I am going second, and my opponent is playing a swordsoul Rose Tenny Yan Zing deck, and my opponent just gave me information. Let me pause right here. My opponent just gave me information that he is playing the Yanzing pack in his deck. That means he will go into Denlong, and Denlong searches him for the 9 pillars of Yanzing, which is an Omni Negate on the field. So I have to keep that in mind. He goes into a standard Sorcerer combo first. Moye shows the Chiva and gets a token, goes into Grandmaster, activate Moye from the graveyard, and then Grandmaster. Moye draws him a card, and Grandmaster obviously search for Longyan. So far, so good. Normal standard Sorcerer combo. But now it's going to deviate. He's going to activate 1 for 1, discard Jet Synchron, special out Side Reflector. Side Reflector searches him for a Assault Beast. He's going to discard the Assault Beast, search for the Assault mode active, and then he's going to activate the Side Reflector again to show me the Assault mode active and special out the Assault Beast from his graveyard. Then he's going to special out the Sword Soul Longyan by discarding the Chi-Wen and go into Baron de Fleur. Now let's count how many Omni Negates my opponent sets up. That's 1 Omni Negate, 1 Monster Negate so far. Then he's going to activate Longyan, burn me for 1200, that's fine. Use Assault Beast and Side Reflector, go into the Crystron Hulk play. Now, I already know my opponent has Jet Synchron in his graveyard, but I'm going to activate my Ash Blossom on my opponent's activation of Crystron Hulky Fabrics anyways, to try to bait out the Baron de Fleur's Omni Negate. I was just hoping to bait out the Omni Negate at this point, but my opponent did not take the bait. So my Ash Blossom is wasted. He's gonna take the Jet Synchron in his graveyard, special itself by discarding a card, then go into the Aurora Dawn play. Aurora Dawn gets the token, and you guys already know what's gonna happen. He's gonna pop Aurora Dawn, go into the Olion. Olion plus the token goes into the Denlong play. Denlong searches him for the 9 pillars of Yan Zing, which is the Omni Negate that I talked about. If you're not familiar with the card, you have to know this card. As long as a Yanzing monster is on the field, that card is an Omni Negate. Then he gets another Omni on the field, being the BORREL Savage Dragon. How am I ever gonna push past this field? I already told you he has the Baron de Fleur's Omni, he'll have BORREL Savage's Omni, and he'll have the 9 pillars of Yanzing Omni. How could I possibly push past this board? Let's see how I push past it then. On my draw phase, first of all, I was hoping to draw into a Kaiju or maybe even a Raigeki. That was my hope. But sadly, no. I draw into Maxi. 1 turn too late. Otherwise, my opponent would not have been able to set up this board. If he had no Ash, no board set up like that. Anyways, I start my turn off by activating Prankkids Place, which I was hoping my opponent would use one of the Omnis for. Sadly, he knows how to play. He held onto his Omni, and he allows my Prankkids Place search to go through. I search for Roxy's. Normal out Lampsies, go into my combo. I activate Lampsies in the graveyard, chain block with my Prankkids Place. That way, if he uses Omni Negate, it's gonna destroy my Prankkids Place, not my activation of my Lampsies in the graveyard. Special out Fansies, go into Doodle Doo. Now, this is where my opponent sort of, well, not over here, he's gonna misplay later in the game, but you guys have to know, the Omni Negate for the BORREL Savage is just a negation, not a card destruction. The Omni Negate for Baron de Fleur is negation plus card destruction, and the Omni Negate for the 9 pillars is negation plus bounce. So he played in a way that would destroy my Doodle Doo. So on my Doodle Doo's activation, he activates his his Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur, as I said before, negates plus destroys. So my Link 2 is gone. No searches for me, that's fine. I special out Dropsies. Now, I have to throw out my baits to make him use his Omni so I could actually go into a play. I activate Instant Fusion, burn myself for 1000. He uses BORREL Savage Omni right here to negate that. This is where my opponent misplayed. Even though he knew how to play the deck, he misplayed right here. When I say misplay, I mean, he should have allowed the instant fusion to go through, because instant fusion goes into rocket ride. He could have just used the Grandmaster to negate my rocket ride, and my rocket ride's tribute effect would have been negated as well. He would have saved one Omni on the field, which will be really important, because if he had one more Omni, I would not have made a comeback happen. You guys will see right now. I used my Fusion Destiny. I know he still has one more Omni. There's the Omni, 9 Pillars of Yanzing. He's gonna negate and bounce the Fusion Destiny, destroy the Yanzing on his field, and he's gonna activate, since the Chiyuan saw the card destruction, it's gonna special itself on the field. I activate Maxi right here in the hopes of drawing a Raigeki or something that could allow me to play through. Maybe a Pandemonium, maybe a Polymerization would have allowed me to play through this board. So I was hoping to, it's just one card draw, keep in mind, I'll just have one card draw. It was a top deck. So I activate Maxi, no Ash Blossom, it's gonna resolve. Maxi activated, Chiyuan summons on the field, and what card do I draw into? Bro, Fusion freaking Destiny. I draw into one of my outs. When I say outs, my Fusion Destiny activation was negated, so it does not count as being activated. I could still activate Fusion Destiny. So I activate Fusion Destiny, hoping for my opponent to not have Ash Blossom, which he didn't. Nice. I get the DPE on the field. Now, if you guys looked at my opponent's Grandmaster's attack closely, we did use our prankkids plays to lower our opponent's monster's attack by 500. So Grandmaster was sitting at 2300 instead of 2800, which is already lower than the attack of the DPE. So I go into battle phase, target the Grandmaster. He activates Grandmaster, banishes Longyan, targets my DPE. I activate my DPE in response to that, pop my prankkids plays to pop the Omni that he had on the field. He still had 2 counters on the BORREL Savage. That would still be Omni on his turn. I had to pop that card, no Omni for him. So I pop it. This negates my DPE's secondary effect of making your opponent's monster lose 400 for each heroes in the graveyard. We don't care, it's already at 23, DPE is at 25. We bump into Grandmaster, get rid of Grandmaster as well. So Grandmaster threats gone. I end my turn, turn change, draw phase. On my opponent's draw phase, I activate DPE again to pop my opponent's Baron de Fleur. Because if you guys don't know, Baron de Fleur has the secondary effect activation on their standby phase, where it could bounce itself and special out a card from their graveyard onto the field. I did not want that to happen, so I used my DPE, killed off Baron de Fleur in draw phase, so it did not activate in standby phase. I got my DPE's activation, and now my opponent goes into his Rose pack. At this point, I was only hoping for my opponent to not be running 2 Grandmasters. If he was running 2 Grandmasters, I was pretty much dead. Thankfully, he was not running 2 Grandmasters, and he goes into Yazi. Yazi, pop itself, pop my card, activate, special out the Taye. Taye, banish 1 card from the graveyard, gets a token, and with this, he's gonna go into the Draco Berserker. Taye activates, sends a card to the graveyard, which was the Ashina. This way, I would still have 1 more turn. That was all I was hoping for. All I hoped for was to get 1 more turn, because I knew I would be able to out my opponent's field and maybe even kill him. Not the next turn, but maybe next to next turn. So end phase, turn change, on our standby phase, we get our DPE on the field. I was hoping to draw into a Kaiju right here, because Kaiju on the Draco Berserker means that his Draco Berserker is gone. My DPE could safely activate. Again, DPE is a non-targeted effect. Draco Berserker could be chained to DPE to negate and banish DPE. Well, not negate, just banish DPE. So I could not activate DPE at that point. So how do I play? How do I play my turn? Normal out Roxy's, go into my combo. Now keep in mind, this would have been a full Butler combo if my opponent did not stop my combo from going through. And once I start going into my combo, my opponent just outright scoops. He knows that I could have maybe killed him, maybe set up my own field. Like, I guarantee I would have been setting up my own field with my Butler for my opponent's turn, and it would be a 2 pops guaranteed. Butler on the field means that I would have been, because I would have gone into Predaplant, not Predaplant, because there's the Draco Berserker, but like I could have gone into my Butler, killed off his field. I had plays to make. And that was an insane comeback from 3 OMNIs on the field. Bro, if you guys like this gameplay, comment in the section below. Or if I made any misplays or if you see my opponent making any misplays, let me know about that. With that being said, this is the end of today's game. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily prank kid videos. And if you guys are interested in the live content of all this, when I do play live, I go live on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule is in the video description itself. This is JP Duel signing out for today. See you guys in the next video. Peace!